Hello everyone, welcome for a new game on AoE4. Today we're gonna watch a BO5 organized by HAGTV guys. A very good show match. Don't hesitate to go and watch HAG because we are creating a lot of events on AoE4 with a lot of good players also. And this is very cool. We are very happy to be here. We have Downfall versus Starflark. The top 50 versus the top 29 world actually are facing each other on the BO5 for HAG. This is gonna be very cool. Starflark, top 29, actually currently playing the Abbasid in the color blue, and in front of him we have Downfall, who is playing the French in the color teal. He is currently top 50 world. Okay, so this is a very good show match. I'm quite looking forward to see exactly what is going to happen. This is a matchup that we don't see that much right now on AoE4 because the abbassids are considered not a good civilization for the moment, especially on those maps like Dry Arabia, because this is a very open map where you cannot really take the control of the map, where you cannot really, put the TCs and be safe because you have to take the control of the map and you have to be everywhere. My camera is not nice. I'm gonna remove it. So yeah, that's pretty much it about what we are expecting here. I don't find my camera. This is here. Okay, so let's go for this game. I'm expecting the French to have. I mean, you don't even have to pro scout because you are against the Abbasid, and the Abbasid cannot really deal with the control of the map. So, yeah, I'm expecting the French to do like wheelbarrow right now, but he is not doing that. So maybe he's pro scouting. This is cool too because you can steal the deers of your opponent if you do that. So this is kind of cool. But we have a military wing for Starflark. This is the only way I would play Abbasid right now on maps like this. I think Abbasids can be okay maybe on maps like Frisian Marshes where you can do trade. If you can do trade, it feels like Abbasid is okay. But if you do Abbasid on maps like this, the only way to play them is like this, with the military wing in order to defend and put a second TC and try to tank as much as you can in order to go in the late game. Because in the late game they are pretty good civilization, to be honest. But at the beginning of the game it's kind of difficult. You kind of have difficulties in order to have an army, the control of the map and stuff like this. And all the civilizations that can take all the gears of the map are very strong right now. Okay, so we have the real Balor. We don't have the professional scout. Maybe we forgot about clicking this technology. This happens sometimes. But you can click it when you're aging up. This is the best thing to do. Okay, very interesting here from Downfall. We are taking the boar in order to have a good food income. This is very interesting. Be careful with the villager here. He's tanking the damage. Yeah, very well played from Downfall. He doesn't lose his villager. And Starflark tried to annoy a little bit Downfall, but he managed to save that. Oh, here we had 2 kills of villagers thanks to this knight. Very well done from Downfall. This is very well played. This is not very easy to defend versus the French because this is a civilization where you can have, with which you can have a lot of knights everywhere. As you can see here, we have already 3 knights on the field, so this is very strong. We have the second TC right now and we have the golden age, so we have 15% on all resources, and this is the stuff you want to have the fastest as you can because, well, you can gather a lot of resources, of course, and this is kind of cool to launch well in the beginning of the game. Very interesting wall too here. This is a small wall that doesn't cost that much, and that can protect you very well from raids, for example, in the wood. And yeah, this is very nice to do. This is not very expensive. Here we can see Downfall trying to see exactly where he can harass his opponent. He cannot find anything because Starflark is defending thanks to his military wing. And we are producing some spearmen. We are producing also a scout in order to see what the opponent is doing. Very, very nice. Okay, I like that. I like the aggression of Downfall, to be honest. He's creating a lot of knights, and he has 2 archery ranges. Maybe he will do some siege units, like the rounds, in order to destroy the second TC. But to be honest, the second TC is quite nicely placed. It is in the back of the base, and it's quite cool because it's not really easy to attack it, and also it's defending the gold and the deers. We have a pretty good spawn for Starflark here. He has a pretty good map because he can have 2 golds in the back of his base and also an entire deer pack. So this is very, very nice. And also he can protect here with few walls. This is not a very expensive too, and this is defending very well those berries. So this is very nice for Starflark. He has a good map, especially for Dry Arabia. But this is supposed to be a map where you have not a lot of resources in the back, but here Starflark has a very good map. Maybe he can manage to take this to deal with the French aggression, thanks to that. But to be honest, if everything is in front of your base, it's very, very difficult versus the French. So yeah, we will see exactly how Downfall deals with those resources in the back. Here we are losing a knight. Ooh, this is difficult to lose a knight. This is 240 resources. This is a lot, of course. And as you can see here, the Abbassids can produce a lot of army very quickly when they have the second TC. After that, they can produce a lot because they have the 15% of all resources, and also, well, they have more villagers, of course. But what is interesting also with the French is that you produce villagers faster, so it's kind of okay at the beginning of the game because you can tank a little bit the fact that your opponent has 2 TC, and you can make a pretty good aggression because you have more villagers, because you produce them faster, but also because your technologies cost less. Your technologies, economical technologies. So this is very, very nice. In order to deal with someone that is 2 TC, you have more time in order to deal damage to him because, well, you have better economy at the beginning of the game, of course. So this is the perfect civilization in order to attack your opponent. Of course, maybe you know that on AoE 4. This is very important to know exactly what you can do. This is really well played from both players. I think this is exactly what I expect when I see a matchup like this. We don't see that a lot, as I was saying at the beginning of the game, because Abbasid is not very strong civilization. In my opinion, French is kind of okay, but it's not that strong. It's cool because you can have the control of the map and stuff, but this is not the best civilization in order to pro scout, to do stuff like this. In order to take the control of the map, it's cool, but it's quite difficult to play the French also. I think it's a very, very good civilization, but you have to play very well with your knights, to put a lot of pressure with them, and also do not lose them, because if you lose them, you lose 240 resources, as I said before. A third villager is down thanks to those archers, and we have a lot of value, an army value from Downfall. And this is something that is the second thing that is very, very difficult with the Abbassids is not only you have a quite difficult beginning of the game, but also the second stuff is when you want to age up. Most of the civilization wants to age up with those villagers and also creating a landmark and stuff. But this is not that difficult in terms of time. This is quite quick, quite fast. But with the Abbassids and also with the Ayyubids too, you have to do it on the House of Wisdom, and it's every time it's 1 minute and 45 seconds. So this is a lot of time, and this gives to your opponent a very good timing. If he ages up, as we can see here, Downfall wants to age up. He can do a lot of technologies. Like, for example, with all his army, he can have the veteran on all his army. And Starflark, if he wants to follow this, well, he's not that fast. And he has to tank the fact that he's H2 and his opponent is H3 with his units. So this is very difficult for the Abbassids. And I think this is the main problem with the Abbassids right now. Well, also because they don't want Pro Scout, they have difficulties to go out on the map and stuff like this, and this is very important to have the control of the map, as I said before. But also, this is very annoying with the Abbassids. The opponent can have very good timing at attacking you, and this is, yeah, this is very difficult. Age of Empires 4 is also a game where you have to take the timings, where you can do damage at one timing onto your opponent, but if you miss that timing, then you can lose the game and stuff like this. But if you take the good timing, you're winning. And here, the lack of control of the map is here for Starflark. As you can see here, he's beginning to set up some farms, and yeah, this is kind of difficult to have farms right now on the game. This is quite early. There are still some deers, some berries and stuff. And yeah, a lot of deers also for Downfall. Still the boar here, I think. I don't know exactly how much there is inside this boar. And we have the veteran technologies here. Quite interesting, we didn't do the chivalry. So the knights are not healing from their wounds right now. We are aging up, but as you can see here, 1 minute and 45 seconds. And also, when he's aging up, after 1 minute and 45 seconds, he has to do his veteran technologies. So this is 1 minute for each. So this means right now, Downfall has a window of 2 minutes and 45 seconds to deal damage to Starflark. This is insane. This is a lot of time. But as you can see here, there is a lot of army from Starflark, and I think he can manage to defend thanks to this enormous army that he has. But the problem for Starflark is the food. How does he do to defend when he doesn't have any food right now? So the fights are very good for Downfall. Well, very good, not that much, because it's quite difficult to deal with the composition of army of Starflark, because there is a lot of cavalry and spearmen. And when you have archers and knights, it's very difficult to deal with the spearmen, because you have to click them with your archers, but you cannot really protect your archers, because if you do so, then your knights are inside the spearmen. But if you don't protect your archers, then the horsemen are going to deal a lot of damage to the archers. And this is why it's very difficult to deal with this kind of composition of army. What you have to do, it feels like, is you use your knights in order to be in front of your archers, and you hit and run with your archers, and you tank the damage of the cavalry, the light cavalry. This is the best thing to do, but it's very difficult to do, in my opinion. But this is how you're supposed to do so, because if you put your knights inside the fight, they are going to be destroyed by the spearmen. Also, the choice of the age up is quite interesting for Downfall. If he wanted to destroy his opponent, he would have taken the Royal Institute, because he would have some very good knights with plus 80 HP, but he took the guild hall, and in my opinion he does that because he thinks he cannot end his opponent. He thinks he is going to go with a very long game, and then if it's the case, then the guild hall is so much better. Very well played here from Starflark. He's trying to counter attack a little bit, trying to take some villagers to Downfall. As you can see here, the difference of the villager is not that insane. Starflark is on 2 TC and Downfall is only on 1. And the difference of villagers is not that much. So the second TC is now up for Downfall, but it's not that long for that long. And here we are trying to take, yeah, maybe the deers here. So this is a point of aggression for Downfall. Maybe he can try to attack from here. Oh, this is very well played here from Starflark, dealing a lot of damage to his opponent. What do I expect from this game right now? I think the Abbasid is in very good position right now, because Abbasid is very strong. When you have a good defense, when you have a lot of villagers, when you have also the Golden Age, because you can have a lot of resources thanks to your villagers, they are working faster. Yeah, you have very good civilization in the late game, so this is a good position for Starflark. But I have to say something. The fact that Downfall choose the guild hall makes the late game better for him, as I talked about before, because he has a lot of resources thanks to this building. And also what is very interesting with this building is, well, you can use it two ways in my opinion. The first way is when you are on food, of course. The first way is you wait to have 2,400 resources inside of it, and you take that and you build your H4 thanks to this. So you can put it, for example, on a gold vein, for example this one, and you protect the center of the map and this enormous gold. So this is very cool. And the second way is just to delay your farms. You can use it when you don't have any more food on your map, and then you click this and you can continue to aggress your opponent here. I think Downfall doesn't want to do that. He wants to keep it in order to go H4 or stuff like this. Very interesting, the fact of doing a keep here allows him to have a discount on every buildings here, so the archery ranges and also the stable. It doesn't work on the barracks, that's why there is no barracks inside here. So we can see here that Downfall thought about making his buildings before putting the keep here. So this is very interesting to do that in order to have the discount on every building, of course. Okay, so we have a very good raid here from Starflark, but okay, there are the crossbows that can deal a lot of damage. The knights here are defending too. This is a good fight for Downfall. Well, really well played. He saw that his opponent was attacking him, so very good defense. Very nice. Okay. This is the third relic, and we have 3 relics for Downfall and 2 for Starflark. This is not surprising, but this is insane. I mean, a lot of walls are coming in this and in the middle of the map, and this is very interesting because thanks to that, he has the half of the map for him. Well, if he manages to have those walls, of course, because it's not built. But if he manages to have those walls, this could be very nice for Starflark in order to have the control of the map. Maybe he can trade too, thanks to this. The trade post is quite nice. There is a lot of units, and as you can see here, the army value is quite the same, while Downfall killed more units to his opponent. So this is the strength of Abbasid, because you have so much more economy than your opponent. And it feels like if you are French, if you want to like keep up from the Abbasid, you have to do a trade, in my opinion. Because the French trade is very nice in order to deal with the Abbasid economy. But if you trade, on the other hand, the Abbasid will do the same, and the Abbasid trade is very strong too. Very interesting to have the springles in order to deal with the spearmen. This is a very good call, but be careful. We can snipe them with those crossbows. How many? We have 4 of them. This is a very good fight here for Downfall. We use here the surfers in order to do not take a lot of damage from those melee units. We defend those. As you can see here, we are trying to snipe with those crossbows. This is a terrible fight for Starflark. This is horrible. Why do you want to take this fight? We are losing so much. As you can see here, the destroyed value is insane because we used the fact the buildings in order to defend. As you can see, the melee units could not hit any units here, and all those units that are in ranged, they could do a lot of damage to the units of Starflark. And also we had the TC that fires arrows and stuff like this, so this is a very, very good defense. I don't know why we took this fight, to be honest. But we took the 3 sacred sites at the same time, and we are able to go on H4. So, yeah. And we are still having a lot of army. This is why Abbasid is very strong on the late game. You have so much economy. As you can see here, this is insane economy. And also what is very interesting is to have this as the H4, because you can have this that allows you to have all your technologies that cost 20% less. So this is a lot of resources that you can save. Because, for example, this technology is 2,200 resources. So if you have 20% on this, this is insane amount of money that you can save. And on all your technologies, you have this. So this is very, very interesting to have this culture ring on the H4. You can do it like sooner, but it feels like it's not that good. It's especially good on H4 because that's when the technologies are the more expensive, of course. And also you kind of want to have the military ring at the beginning because you want to deal with the knights that are attacking you and stuff like this. So yeah. Okay. What do we do right now? We took back this sacred sites. This is very well played from Downfall. We put the red palace in the middle of the game. As I talked about before, we waited for the guild hall and we clicked on this, and then we put the red palace in the middle of the map. So clearly the guild hall is the best choice in order to have a late game with the French, of course. Because if you have the Royal Institute, then you don't have a bonus on the late game thanks to this landmark. This is only a bonus on the timing. Very well played to have the red palace in order to defend. This is an insane monument. I mean, it's impossible to attack this landmark. Except if you have, of course, trebuchets and stuff to attack it from a distance. But if you attack it under the red palace, then you're just gonna lose all your army, of course, because they deal a lot of damage. Okay, I don't know exactly. I think Starflark is ahead, of course, because he's Abbasid on the late game. But it doesn't mean that Downfall will lose this game, because we have some elite crossbows. So this is arbalétrier in French. I'm kind of flexing, of course, because I'm a French person, if you don't know me. So yeah, I can pronounce stuff in French. This is cool. We have 20 kills of villagers. Okay. What are we gonna do for as units? We are not gonna do only crossbows. We have veteran only on the whole. On those 2 units. So we don't have the elite right now. We don't have spearmen at all. We don't have any barracks. We did this technology in order to have relics that gives also some food, wood and stone. This is very nice. We do some pretty good raids right now. Do a lot of damage to Starflark. We have the same amount of villagers, but the villagers of the French are not that effective compared to the ones of Abbassids. You can see here, this is a little bit of a difference between those two. Well, not that much. It feels like it's kind of the same, not exactly the same. The Abbassids are a little bit better, but yeah. We kind of want to have also the tier 3 here, because it's 20% resources, and also you produce 20% faster on all your buildings. You have here the villagers that can drop 8% more resources. This is insane. This is a very good civilization on the late game, of course, because of all those technologies. Very well played from Downfall, I have to say, because here we know this is the only gold. We know our opponent is not there because we watched it and we avoided him to be there. So Here the keep is here in order to avoid Starflark to have gold. And if he doesn't have gold, he cannot do his technologies, for example, his economical upgrades, but also his military upgrades, of course. So this is a very good move from Downfall. Very well placed, very well played. We have a lot of keeps, to be honest, from Downfall. What are we producing here? Food, okay. We are attacking. This is not cool to let those units under the keep. We are losing a lot of units, in my opinion. Oh, 3 culverins. The keep is not in a good spot right now. 3 culverins. We have the answer here from Starflark. Okay, you want to place a keep here? I have the answer, dude. I have the culverins. This is insane. Very, very strong unit. It changed a little bit. Not recently, but when the siege units changed, the culverins is not anti-siege anymore. This is anti-buildings. But it can be used to snipe, of course, the enemy siege. It's not that strong to do that, but it's kind of okay. Yeah. When you are in this position as the French, it's kind of difficult. And I want to say, the choice of the guild hall is a good choice if you want to go in the late game. If you know the game is going to be long. But if he did the Royal Institute, maybe he could have a better timing in order to kill Starflark or to do more damage. I don't know, this is very difficult choice. This is always difficult because if you do the Royal Institute but you don't do enough damage to your opponent or you don't kill him, then your late game is gonna be very difficult. So yeah, tough. We kind of want to have this also. Do we have... yeah, we are producing this. This is very important when you have a lot of crossbows like this. You can deal a lot of damage. I think it gives them like +2 or plus... no, this is more. This is like +4 damage. It feels like. I'm not sure. We have some cannons here. As you can see, the culverins can snipe those siege, as I talked about before. We use those crossbows in order to tank the damage because they have a lot of armors, as you can see here. Melee armor +9 and ranged armor 8. This is insane. This is an insane unit in order to tank. And yeah, we managed to take the fight. And that's maybe the reason why Downfall can win this game. Because of those crossbows, because of those light cavalry. They are... well, the French is not a good civilization at having a good economy, but they are very good at having good units. They have more HP on their cavalry, and also they have very good crossbows that can tank a lot, that can deal a lot of damage. They have cannons that are stronger. They have a lot of stuff in order to deal with the army of the opponent. But they don't have a good economy. Except if you do the trade. And that's maybe the reason why I'm quite surprised that Downfall didn't do the trade. It feels like it's a good choice to do that. But maybe he's afraid of losing the control of the map and stuff like this. Yeah, here the stone wall didn't go through. We have some spearmen here in order to annoy a little bit the opponent. And yeah, +4 damage, exactly. I don't know how it's called, the technology that can make you fire some fire arrows. Maybe fire arrows. The technology, I don't know exactly how it's called. We have a cannon here that destroys the keep. Crossbows that can tank those damage and deal a lot of damage to the enemy. This is an insane unit. I mean, I don't know exactly how you counter that, because if you do light cavalry, yes, you do bonus damage versus them, but they have like 10 melee armor. I mean, this is a lot of armor. Do we have the guild hall? Yeah, we have 3,000 resources, so it's kind of okay for Downfall. He can still produce a lot of army. If he clicks on this, maybe he doesn't, he forgot about it. If he forgot about it, it's not cool for him. But we managed to take the control of the map pretty much everywhere. We have here a sacred site, the second one. So this is a cool income. 200 gold per minute, so this is quite nice. It feels like Downfall can do some stuff in the late game. I'm quite surprised that he does some end cannoneers. Maybe he does that in order to deal more with the spearmen, because it deals a lot of damage to the melee infantry. Yeah, we use some light cavalry in order to deal with the villagers, to do a lot of damage to the opponent, force some reaction here, and then to be able to more attack here. This is quite interesting when you are facing a very good defense from your opponent. You can try to attack from another point with a small army in order to force a response from your opponent here, and then the defense here is less effective. But I have to say, Starflark didn't put a lot of units in order to defend. This is exactly what he needed, and then he can use it to go back there. But Downfall managed to take this fight now, and the keep is going down thanks to the cannon. So we only have one. Maybe a second one would be cool. Yeah, the second one is arriving. This is very nice. Very well played for Downfall. This is not easy to play versus abbassids in the late game. Yeah, we have the trade. I talked about it before. We finished the stone wall. And now, in order to go on the trade, we are forced to go under the keep and this outpost. So we will see it directly from Downfall. This is very well played. Everything is walled there. Yeah, maybe do a wall here and there in order to be sure that the opponent doesn't go on our trade. This is gonna be cool. We don't have any gold left on the map, so that's why we kind of want to have trade too. This is very important to have too when you have some traders, and very important to do not lose this fight, because if we lose this fight, we are not going to be able to reproduce this army because we don't have gold anymore. Okay, we have gold because we have villagers here, and we don't care about losing those villagers, because if we lose them, then it's okay. They are going to be replaced with traders, so it's okay. We can lose them. The cannon here is attacking this keep. Very well played from Downfall. Everything is done like perfectly, in my opinion, from this player on the late game. This is very, very impressive, to be honest. It's not easy to deal with Abbasid in the late game, but I have to say this was the perfect game from the French player. Abbasid is down. The French won. 1-0 for Downfall, but this is a BO5, guys. So this is not over at all. There is going to be a lot of games. 1-0 for Downfall. See you in the next one to see exactly who wins between Downfall and Starflark in this show match by HAG. Don't hesitate to go and watch HAG. See you in the next one. Bye.